between Zoom and YouTube. It's preparing to live stream setting up the YouTube live. And there's a connection there. There's always a transfer. There's always a delay, but I know that it's working. Okay, so we have that part. And what I want to do today is I want to talk and have Lily also speak about our next assignment, answer any questions if you have in the current assignment. We'll do the next assignment and we'll go from hardware, talk about hardware, and we'll talk about software today. Okay, everybody ready to go? Perfect. So I've live streamed. I have my AI companion on. And then I want to share my screen. And what do I see here? I see YouTube Live, so I know there it's available on my YouTube Live. And right here, you see, right here, Vivian, you see that URL. So another thing that you may want to ask at that time is you can have, I could then copy that URL, put it into the chat so everybody can be able to make sure that they can see it. Okay, and then I know that I have even here my logo from the university, since it's the university is the provider of the subscription. Okay, so there. I know that in our section, I know that I want to go to always what's due. And I want to make sure when I look at my what's due to make sure that my edit mode is off. And I see today I have assignment February 4th, the audit assignment. I have my tech guide software that we're going to go over today. And then we talked about last time how much RAM and secondary storage space we had in our computer. Okay. So this next assignment, Lily, you want to take over a little bit and explain this next assignment?
Sure. Do you want me to share my screen or do you want to just share it?
Okay, you can tell me what to do.
Okay, can you just go to audit assignment instructions,
Okay,
please?
well, first read it. What's due for next week? Let's go through that.
Oh, okay. So next week you'll have your normal readings. So you'll do chapter 5, data and knowledge management. So you'll do adaptive for that and the quiz as well. But for your new audit assignment, it's gonna be 2 parts. So you're gonna have your first part, which is like your individual screen recording assignment, which is where you choose a screen recording software and do a zoom on it and talk about it and its different features. And then you all come together in the part 2 for the group assignment to talk about the screen recording software that you used and kind of do a reflection on it, talking about its pros and cons and kind of determining which one you guys might find to be the best one. I mean, it's better if
Okay,
we go.
can I add something?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna go over it with the rubric in front of me, but
Okay, but let me just
I think it's
say
better to.
something, then I'll have you do the rubric, okay?
Okay.
So, have we recorded? We've recorded ourselves. How have we recorded so far ourselves? Vivian, how have you recorded yourself so far using the computer?
Like with cloud recording
Yeah, cloud recording,
or
right?
the local recording?
From what software product?
From my computer,
What software did you use to
just
record?
through Zoom.
Through Zoom. So Zoom has a recording feature where you can record to the computer, to your computer, and put it in your notes. That's called local, right? It's locally resides. Sometimes it's also called on premise, meaning that you can gain access without internet access. Everybody with me? The other way that you can do it is cloud recording, that using Zoom server somewhere in the world, it's recording and it gives you a link, but you need what? You need internet access to get it. But let's say even after this class, will you always have this Zoom version that you have that you can stream live? Do you always have access to this after you take this, after you leave the university? No. Basically, the free version of Zoom doesn't allow you to live stream. And there's some other issues. Sometimes what you want is other products to allow you to record what you do on screen outside of Zoom. Sometimes some of the recordings have more advantages and it has some more features that Zoom doesn't have. So what I'd like is everybody have a little toolkit, just like a guy going out to the field, and in your toolkit, you'll know how to record in Zoom, and you'll know how to record locally in Zoom, and you'll know how to record to the cloud in Zoom, and you know how to stream live with YouTube. What I also want is you to get another recording software that you can use even on top of Zoom as, guess what, Vivian, as another software program that will record for you. It either can be that you can have it downloaded to your computer so you can record locally, or you can record it to the cloud. Everybody with me? I want everyone to choose one. Also, as a group, I want you to know and be familiar, intimately familiar with more than one product. So for our process here, for our assignment here, what I'd like you to do in general is to think, what other recording software can we be familiar with? So what I want you to do is each person in your group choose a different software program. And one of the features will be that it should be that you can access it free. Some software programs charge, some have a free version and a paid version. You should be able to know it, and you should be able to create a tutorial explaining the features of your new recording software and figure out how does that differ from what you've already learned. And then in general, what I'd like you to do is get back with your group where each person has a different software program. And you as a group, one person, right, Vivian, will record it, right? Record it to the cloud and record and stream into live YouTube Live. But you'll also be able to show off and record using your own software program. Each person will have it. So it's important before you do this assignment is that you get with your group and make sure that each person has something different. And how do you find, you think, Vivian, a free recording system? Could you go to ChatGPT and say, I'm a student that needs a recording system that needs to be free, right? And be able to record the stream. Give me the best recommendations. You could do something
Yeah, that would work.
that would, and make it as a part. So that's in general what I'd like you to do. You got it, Vivian? So now I want, in terms of it, I'll have Lily share her screen. You want to do that or you want me to share? Doesn't matter to me.
I can share.
Okay, Lily will share the screen and go over. She created a nice rubric. We went over and we checked and rechecked, and she'll go over in detail what you want to do, okay?
So you want me to go over the individual one first?
Yes,
Fine.
of course.
Makes sense, yeah. So to start out for your individual screen recording assignment, you're first going to find screen recording software. So I already gave you a couple of them. OBS is what I used when I took the class. That's an open source software. You're going to have to explain the difference between open and closed source. I would say OBS is like not as user friendly as Loom, but regardless, you can find whatever screen recording software you want to use. So you're gonna start, you're gonna start the third-party recorder before you enter the Zoom. And then you're gonna start your, wait, yeah. So yeah, you'll start the recording first. You'll talk about like what you can use it on, Windows, Mac, or Linux, open or closed source. If it records cloud or locally. You'll talk about like if your selected software is best suited for the Zoom settings, if it offers any paid versions and some pros and cons. And then you'll finally start the Zoom meeting, showcase some like features of Zoom on the recording, and then show other ways that your recording your screen can be useful. And then after you're done with that, you'll just submit the file. The file name is very important to us, so make sure to have it where you put the date of which you recorded, the time, your name, screen recording, and the type of file.
And you know
If
what?
it's a cloud recording though, you're not gonna be having that. You're just gonna have a link. But if it's a local recording, it'll have a file name.
So on their screen recording, you want them to type screen recording or the name of the screen recording program, or both?
Under my example here, I did screen recording OBS.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I want them to do is screen recording and the name. So make
Yeah.
sure everybody understand. So if you looked at how Lily did it, she did the date, the time, her name, her group, and screen recording OBS. And MP4 sounds like what? In this case, Justin, what is the MP4? Do you think that it's a local or that's a cloud?
That's local.
Local. Right. So it's similar to what you've done before in your recordings, but this is a different program.
And also like when you're like using the software, like think of like different ways that like you could use the screen recording software. Like for OBS, for instance, I thought like it would be great like for like someone who wants to be like a streamer, like on Twitch, because like it shows everything on your computer and it kind of like works in the background as a good screen recorder. Um, so it'd be good to just like talk about that and like reflect on how you would be using it. Um, I'll, as Dr. Rush was talking, I was looking at different screen recording softwares that you could use. Komodo is another one that one of my TAs in training found, which is kind of interesting. I'd like to see someone else try this out, especially since it's an AI screen recorder.
Yeah.
I don't know how
That'll
that,
be great. That would be fantastic. It'd be
yeah,
nice
for
even to
something
add
like,
that. Look for AI screen recorders because
yeah,
it'll be new and see what the AI portion does. That'll be
right.
nice to add to the other classes. That's great. And notice it says it records, it transcribes, and all of them are trying, all the software is trying to be intelligent, right? And why wouldn't you want it to be intelligent? You don't want to do a
And
lot of the work.
yeah, and let me just like emphasize, guys, that you need to each use a different screen recorder.
Mhm.
Last semester we had people that would use the same one because they didn't talk with their members first before choosing a screen recording
Yeah,
software. And I was not like as lenient as I was for the other
yeah.
assignments.
No,
So
it
make
shouldn't
sure to
be.
use a different one.
Yeah, but I like the idea, Lily, is look for in ChatGPT. You remember Vivian and I, we were talking about it. Look, even an Ask Now AI screen recorder, that uses AI. And then it would be interesting to talk about those features. Good. All right. Did we finish that part?
Yeah, I mean, the screen recording assignment, like the first individual portion, should take like a max like 10 minutes to do.
Yeah.
You're really just introducing the product and
Mhm.
like going through these steps and making
I think
sure
it's like a product review. Think of it
yeah,
as a
basically
product
yeah,
review
a product review. Yeah.
instead of it's a product review. And what did you find that was difficult? What did you find that was really a nifty feature of it? How does it differ? You already have experience. Some of you already have experience with something like QuickTime or others, and some of you have never used it. So whatever you choose should be something different. If you've already had some experience with OBS or QuickTime, is definitely choose something that you haven't used before. So you have a number of tools in your tool chest.
Right. So once you've done that individual assignment, you'll meet as a group and you'll work as a group and collaborate and kind of like do like a pros and cons like reflection of each of your software choices. So make sure when you're starting your group recording that all of you are like starting your screen recording software like individually before you get into the Zoom. I had a couple of issues with that last semester too. Yeah, I put that in bold. And so um, not only are you recording with the screen recording software, um, but you're also going to be like, you're going to record on Zoom, and then someone else is also going to be live streaming on YouTube while that's going on. So you're going to have like three different screen recording things going on. Um, and so yeah, you're basically just going to be talking about like how you liked your screen recording software. Um, and make sure like I said here, like if like in order to receive credit, like each member must do everything in step 3. So you have to like emphasize like what this product can be used on, like some are only usable on Windows or some on Mac, closed open source, cloud or local, basically everything that you would have talked about and found in assignment 1. And then when you're submitting, yes, it's a little bit long. But basically all that you're doing is you're adding in the links. Like this was from my group last year. So you're adding, like if it's a cloud recording, you're adding in the link for the recording. If it's a local, you're attaching the MP4 file above. You're including your YouTube Live, your Zoom link, and within your showcase, you're just talking about like what you guys did during the meeting. And then for your takeaways, make sure that each group member talks about their like what they found, like what they liked about the software. As you can see, who did Screen Pal? Juan didn't even do a takeaway, so he probably didn't get as good of a grade as I did. Um, so definitely make sure that you do that. And then in your challenges and solutions, just talk about like what you had trouble with, like how last or at least for the past couple assignments, a lot of people have been having trouble with YouTube Live. And what our solutions have been is to document it and add in screenshots of your troubles and to talk about why you believe that it happened. Yeah, look, I even forgot to turn on my video and I left it on running for 20 minutes. Oh my gosh, I remember that. I had to edit
Yeah,
it.
it's important to turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was able to edit it, and just even though I made that mistake, I still received full credit for the assignment because I was able to correct my uh, error. So,
Mhm. And you should also look at when things are free and paid versions, talk about what are the differences too. And what is
yeah,
it
we
worth a
have that
lot?
too. Yeah.
So it's good.
And then it's also important when you're making your folder. to add in like which screen recording software you use, so we know that each of you used a different one.
Right. So that'll be right underneath the folder this
Yeah,
time.
right underneath the folder. Like if you go into, let's see, mine's,
Go into audit area.
yeah, I'm going to my audit area. Yeah, see in my audit area, it's just under here and you just add it in the text box below
It's
the
good that you
folder.
made it bold so you can see exactly what each person did. And then later on, others can see, right? And you can see other groups of what they used as well. But I really like that AI screen recorders, that we can add that too.
Yeah, Komodo.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of others. Almost you can look at Komodo and I'm sure you can say, what are the competitors of Komodo?
I think Loom is probably a competitor because they're incorporating AI components as
Yeah.
well.
I use Loom. Loom, or I have the educator version where I have unlimited, where I use Loom, but there's even when you use the free version, you get the 5 minute. Is it a 5 minute now? I'm not sure. They changed the time limit. So it may be then if it's a 5 minute, then you'll have that resort to that limit. You want to make it short and sweet, Any
Yeah,
questions?
actually, I have a question for you, Professor, because I had an
Yes.
idea. So I just recently got a Mac and I
Uh-huh.
found out that if you do like Command Shift 5, you can screen record like a certain amount of your screen. Would that count for students to use for the assignment?
How long can you do it? Just one screen you can
No,
do?
like you record your whole screen on your Mac, but you can do it for however long you want.
And does it record your voice?
I don't know about that one. I think it only
Yeah.
records your screen.
Okay. Okay. So that's a different. You could use that as an additional one, but what I want to make sure everybody understand that you want to have it not just even record your screenshots, but also to record your voice, that you can make it as a tutorial. So you may want to do it, somebody may want to do like both, I would say. If you wanted to do, it'd be nice somebody to do. Is this a new feature in Mac that you found?
I don't think so.
It's just that you just came across it?
I just got a Mac like for the first time in like 5 years.
Oh, okay. So you can paint.
That's
Yeah, I would make it. I would go outside the Mac and see what are outside sources. But if somebody wants to do the Mac, and then what file format does it save it to? Does it save it
that's
locally? I
yeah,
imagine
look.
it saves it locally, right?
Mhm.
And what file format? Do you know? Have you tried
No,
it?
I did not. I have not tried it.
Go try it out, Lily, and others can try it
I
out
would
and
assume
double.
that because majority of my screenshots go into like
And is it
my
just screenshots
photos.
or is it continuous
No,
video?
it's a continuing photo like video,
Okay,
but I
but
would
is it,
assume it just go into my camera roll.
yeah, and then hopefully it would pick up your voice too, no?
No, I
Speaks,
think it's only because it's like kind of like the similar, like on an iPhone, you can like screen record like your screen, but it doesn't get
right,
your audio, like it just
yeah.
gets what's
So
on the
we want
screen.
the audio as well. That's the
Yeah.
only difference. Sometimes that may not be bad if I just want to do a screenshot, but if I want to add additional audio, I don't want to spend the time dubbing it over. You know what I mean? And explaining it. So for right now. Yeah, a number of them have it. There's something also in Windows, it's called Step Recorder, and it can record each of the screens. And
Mhm.
now they have like these step recorders that it has AI that it can describe what it sees. It's like almost a computer vision where you can use on computer vision, you can hold up your phone and say, tell me what this said, what this is. For instance, on Gemini Pro Live, you can say, what are you seeing here? And it will describe what you see. So we'll be able to do it. Yeah, it's getting more and more sophisticated and AI and again the different tools. All right. Any other questions, comments? We got the idea, Lev? So what I would even do is during this class, if you want, as we're proceeding, you can even already search it of those free AI screen recorders and see what you have. And then at the end, at least make sure that you set up with your group, even to start, and each person takes something different. Okay? Anything else, Lily, that you want to respond to? Any questions in the chat? Justin, do we have something?
Nope, no questions.
Okay, do you have anything? Do you understand what to do, Justin?
I do, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So it's an increased part of that. Okay, that's good. So we can look at that. That's one. And then you could even do with this one, did you put in the chat, Lily? Others can even ask, for instance, ChatGPT or Gemini, what are competitors of that? Of AI. And then you can even have your whole group look at competitors, as the group project. One who does Komodo, somebody does something else. Yeah, it'd be interesting to look at those rather than the old time, OBS that has been around for so long, of open source. Okay, so let's share. Let me go back. So I'm clear here on the assignments. And Justin, what major are you?
Finance.
Everybody, if I'm a betting person, anybody that I ask in the class, if I say finance, I have a good probability that I'm correct.
Yeah,
So,
probably.
right? So if you look at for next week, if you look at this article that Lily so graciously it's verifying my device. Let's see. Let's see if it even works, huh? Lily, did you check if it worked?
No, I just added I mean, it worked when I clicked on it from your WhatsApp, but
Right. It may not even work. So let me go into
I can send it again in
yeah,
the
well,
chat.
let me just do something here. Let me go to this was in the Wall Street Journal. Let's go to the Wall Street Journal, Justin. And look at this, Justin. The NASDAQ closed down 1.5 as chip stocks came under pressure, concerned about the potential AI disruption to software companies. And some think it's exaggerated. So if I go to tech, remember? And what you need to know about AI models rattling the markets. Lily, this is the if you go to Wall Street Journal and tech, Lily, this is the URL and see if it works. You know what I mean? So it's good that we check ahead of time. And you can see I gave Lily a link. It worked for me, Vivian. And guess what? When she copied it verbatim, and when I even try on my own computer, it's having issues. So what you need to know about AI models rattling the markets. And yesterday, Tuesday, basically it says that artificial intelligence capabilities help erase 300 billion. Is that a lot of money? Justin, what do you think? Kind of a lot, huh? In
Yeah,
the
that's
market
a good
value on
amount.
Tuesday, huh?
That's a lot of
And
money.
right. And when you think about it, AI, this is an interesting article because they say that AI tools are getting to be so good that they're creating fears that traditional software services won't be used because people will be able to code. And if you think about what's happening here, it's amazing that AI startups are coming in all the time and they're performing an array of job functions. Don't have to have, you can have minimal instructions. And they're operating with relative autonomy on a user's computer, meaning that you tell it what I want and it will do. So if you're going to be legal, look at this, this is amazing. Anthropic's new legal tool can review contracts, perform other industry-specific functions, and analysts have suggested that other specialized business capabilities will sure follow. The company all release plugins for finance, Justin, customer service. So basically, and Anthropic also has a new coding tool that's called Codex that operates similarly, and it basically codes for you. So if you're not an expert coder or even a good coder, can reduce their time by using this type of software. So the idea, Justin, is share price performance, right, has taken dips here because what they think is AI models can do far more than what us, some of you, the non-techies, can realize. So I want you to read through this because it's so much into what we talk about the traditional software and programming that what you can do is people, for instance, that don't know how to code can create applications. And one is called OpenClaw and software engineering. Basically, people can take on that software engineering. So this is a threat, but now some people are saying maybe the markets kind of over exaggerate. But this was an article that I wanted you to read. And if you can't even get it through my link, where can you go and read it? Is just go to the Wall Street Journal, Justin, and go to the tech, and you'll see what you know about AI model rattling the markets. And that was today. So if I,
Sorry, I have a
yeah,
question.
yeah,
I think the kids in our generation use AI as psychologists. Personally, I do. Do you think it's possible that AI will substitute that?
that's funny that you say that because that's one of my research projects. And my
Wow.
research, my so if you want to work with me in your, it'd be good when we do our projects. I would go ahead and actually look at that. What I foresee. Have you ever used it as kind of if you have problems, and have you ever asked ChatGPT to help you out?
Yeah, I always ask.
And
Yeah.
how satisfied are you about that?
I mean, it's better than my therapist.
You think it's better? So do you
Yeah,
use both? I don't want to get into personal, but do you use both?
yeah.
Okay. What I foresee, and does the therapist know that you're using, like you're using ChatGPT? Which program are you using for your own? Which AI?
She doesn't, but I think if she did, she would get like jealous.
Okay, jealous. Okay. My research and what I want to do is to look at one, is to look at how AI, even general AI like ChatGPT, do you use ChatGPT or you use something else, Raphael?
ChatGPT because like I have an account on it, so it already knows who I am
Right.
and it helped me.
Okay. One is there's generics like ChatGPT, there's others, and you can review that if you want for your project that are designed to be more like therapists. That's what they started from the scratch. They even took psychologists, psychiatrists, and trained it. So for ChatGPT, it will be generic and it will do it. And then it tries to do also what I call guardrails. What does it mean, guardrails? Guardrails means that if somebody says, I feel so depressed, I want to commit suicide, that it won't be, and any ways that can help me to commit suicide, that it won't encourage you, that it will basically say, listen, we have to do interventions. I can't, and I'll even connect you with someone. That it has those guardrails where you'll be talking about things harming oneself. So they've created it. What I like about AI and therapy is that sometimes what AI does is it's great in hallucinations. Everybody understand what hallucinations is? Sometimes it kind of like tells stories. And a lot of times in therapy, it's like stories we tell ourselves. What is it about anything that you think about your own problems, right, Rafaela, is that it's a story a lot of times that I tell myself. If I view something in class, right, it's the story I tell myself. Somebody else can see the same thing and have a different story. It's on perception. So I think it really does. My research project, what I want to do is combine the therapist with AI, and the therapist will be together, working together. And the problem is, what I found out is most therapists in general are not even, I wouldn't say jealous, it's almost defensive. One is either they think it's not good, two, they haven't tried it on their own, and three, it may take them out of business. So I'm saying to embrace that and see how it works together. So that's going to be my new project. That's one of my new ones I'm doing.
Yeah, that makes sense because like therapy, I believe is more like humane. Like you feel the person, while chat, like it gives you, if you have a problem, it gives you like many solutions that maybe a therapist won't be able to think on its own.
But you can use it as, I'm even thinking that the therapist can be outside and can have even a couple of therapy sessions going, and then you as the patient or the therapist, you could train the AI to say, why call in and let's say I was the psychologist or the therapist, call in Dr. Rush and have her, or she's listening in the background and she's saying, this is where I need to intervene, or this is where I can go. What I like about it also is that it can track you. If the patient wants, you can record and you can see your, in this case, your progress, the other things. There's so many things that you can do. You can do it with also sensors, and see when you're more nervous, what are your vitals. There's so many things. And it's beginning. You'll see a number of people but a number of people are just comparing one versus the other, of therapy. But I see it as trying to combine it. So I'm looking at in different therapy circles to find people that want to work with me on that, and also going to different companies that are specializing in AI therapy. AI as a therapist rather than just the ChatGPT. And I see in the future something like ChatGPT or some of the others will have almost like a template act as a therapist for me, almost giving that prompt, be that therapist for me. And then there's other things about, that where's my data, and are they taking my data and training from me? Do I want my data to be out there? You have to, there's different ways in which you can say it and say, hey, we won't be training on your data. But in some ways, if they train on their data, I can see it as really good for triage. Let's say someone has some mental problem, they go and they seek help. It basically is the AI could almost be that onboarding. Let me see what your problem is, and then I can even send you to the right therapist and AI. A therapist that maybe deals with depression, a therapist deals with anxiety, a therapist that deals with schizophrenia, therapist deals with phobias, and also an AI that deals with it. So it's interesting that you pick it up. That is going to be developing, and I think it's going to be developing from the ground up. That people are also saying that therapy is also expensive, and how much does it cost? I can use it, ChatGPT, $20 a month. It's going to be, and I can use it any time of the day. So I think it's is a supplement. So that's interesting. So I'm glad that you brought it up. So what I'd like for our project is for students, if they want to even do that for mental health, you can even focus in more and just say, hey, I want to do it for college students with college students' backgrounds and even evaluate the different AI programs that exist. And when does it work well versus the other? It's almost like the screen recordings, but using it for AI. Excellent point. I appreciate you actually bringing that up. So when I go to think about that software, and that was the key here, I go to this point when I think about that Wiley readings and adaptive. Under the tech software guide, that software becomes, those software issues become, especially this application software. There's another end of all application software is having a new feature of AI being incorporated to it. And the idea of application software, where people are coding that application software, that coding is changing that role. So all these roles are changing as we go on. And then if I go to PowerPoint, let's see. And let me just do this so we can see this. So if I go to my PowerPoints and documents, and you see on the software, you can look at your PowerPoints if you want, and it's also another way with the ones here, is there's two things that I want you to get out of today. Is one is called an operating system, and the other one is called application software. So when I think about software basically are computer programs, and it's an instruction given to the hardware to do that. We know software, it's just like our DNA is part of it almost, that you can think about it. And this whole area of computer programming, documentation is changing because AI is taking over and doing a lot of the work. Documentation of what does this program do? What are the changes that I made to the program? AI can take that along with it. So this figure is what you need to know. In the middle, we have hardware. And then we have systems software, and another term, and then we have applications software. So if you have a laptop, you have a phone, that's your hardware. Your system software then connects the hardware to the application. So if you want to basically print something out, the system software helps that application print it out. When it loads, the system software helps the program load the application. So we got to figure out what that operating system does. And who cares? So this is what I want us to do. Our laptops have an operating system. Just, you remember we talked about last time, we talked about RAM and storage. Jolie, you remember that? Were you here last time? We talked about the random access memory and your storage. What did you have last time? Do you remember? How much RAM did you have and external storage, Jolie?
I didn't have much.
How much did you have?
I don't
What is-
remember.
Okay, why don't you look it up now again? Everybody look up how much RAM and hard disk storage you have. Who has it? Who remembers? Justin, do you remember? What do you have?
I have 16 gigabytes of RAM, and
Okay.
then for storage, it was like, let me check. It said 493.38.
Okay. So we said RAM, the application software goes into RAM. Into ROM, you remember we had read-only memory? A lot of times that's in the instructions. So the operating system is part of the computer that allows us to run the software. So on your computer, what kind of computer you have, Justin?
It's a MacBook Pro, I
A
think.
MacBook Pro, okay? I want everybody to find what operating system you have on your computer. Everybody understand what the assignment is right now to do? Zach, you understand? What's the assignment right now to do?
Are we like figuring out how much RAM and disk space we have?
We did that already. And now I want to find out what operating system you have on your computer. We already found out how much RAM. Justin told me how much RAM he had, 16 gig. And how much disk storage did you have, Justin?
It was 493
493 what?
gigabytes.
Gigabytes. Okay. And there were people in the class had 1 terabyte, a gigabyte, or 2 terabytes. So now the assignment, right, is I want everybody to find out what operating system you have on your machine. And if you don't know how to find it, AI is our friend, right? The chatbot is our friend. We need to do that now. So who found it? Raise your hand. What operating system do you have on your computer?
I have it says Sonoma 14.6.1.
Okay, Sonoma 14.61. And does it say anything else?
Uh no, it just says that.
Okay. And it's for what? The Mac, right? That
Yeah,
operating
MacBook Pro.
system is for the Mac Pro, right? It's a Mac operating system. So when you're basically, who cares, Justin, if somebody has a Windows machine and the software works for Mac, it will not run. That version of the software will not run on a Windows operating system. You need to have the version of the software has to match the operating system. Who else found it? Raise your hand if you found what operating system you have. This is required for today. Lev, what did you find?
Mine says Sequoia 15.7.3.
Okay, that's basically its version. And Sequoia. It sounds like all places in California, doesn't it? Sonoma, Sequoia, right? They take places. They name their operating system. Who else? Jolie, did you find it? What did you get?
I have Tahoe 26.2.
Okay, Tahoe. Guess Tahoe is Nevada and California. But it's basically different versions that you have, and it may be slightly. Who else? Raise your hand. Okay, Hunter, what did you find?
I had the Sequoia 15.7.32.
Okay, so similar. The Sequoia, right, with the Sequoia trees. I love them. Okay, anyone have a Windows machine here? Raise your hand. Okay, so in this class, we have none so far. So this is the operating system. The software, the application software, like all the apps that you think about, has to match what? Your operating system, that version. They designed software to run on Mac OS, right? Now, that's called on your laptops, it's called Mac. And what do you think OS stands for, Justin?
Operating system.
Right. So when you hear OS now, you know it. So if you see it on the exam OS, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to remember it, It's like becomes second nature, right? Operating system. Now tell me, Justin, you're on a roll. Everybody tell me, do you have an operating system on your phone? What kind of phone do you have, Justin?
I have an iPhone
You have an iPhone,
17 or
17,
16, sorry.
16. So the question is, raise your hand if you have an iPhone. Okay, quite a few people, right? What operating system do you have? Number one, the first question, do you have an operating system on your phone, if I asked you?
Yes.
Yes, of course you do. Because do you run apps on your phone? Yes. If you have to run anything on your phone, it needs an operating system to have it. So what is the deal? So what kind of operating? Who can tell me what an iPhone, what operating system does it have?
iOS.
What, Catherine?
An iOS
An iOS. Guess what, Catherine? What does OS stand for there?
operating system.
Operating system. So for Apple, it has then for iPhone, it has an iOS. Why do people care? Because if you ever want to download software, you need to know that that software, any app has to be compatible with what, Catherine? iOS. Has anybody ever heard of Android? Who's heard of it? Right. So Luke, if you think about Android, that Android is another operating system that was inherited from Google. So anything in those Google phones or Samsung phones run what operating system? Android, right? So if they have the same app as we're using the same app, if we have, let's say I had, just for talking, I had an Android phone and you, Luke, had a iPhone, your version, whatever version of app that you get, I have to get it for Android. They work in parallel together on that. Okay, so those are the things that you need to do. And then the software is basically, you know what the software is, all the apps that you use. It could be for your on your computer, there's certain apps that run. On the phone, there's certain apps that you can run, and we'll run another program. We have another assignment where we're going to use Notebook LM, and that used to only work on a laptop or a desktop, but now it runs on a phone. So, but you have to get the certain version, even if you're using the same version that runs on your phone versus your laptop, it needs to be different copies of it because there are different operating systems on it. So did you know that, Lily? That Notebook LM now runs on a phone?
Yes, I did. I
Okay,
saw
but
some
it
story.
doesn't have all the features. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Because why do you probably does it? Because it doesn't have as much memory on your phone as you do on your laptop. So they haven't moved it all over. Okay? Any questions? So we're all right on what we need to do. Okay. So in this case, you want to do roll, Lily?
Sure.
We'll take roll. I'll stay here and answer any question that anyone has. Anyone that wants to stay with me afterwards.
I'm typing in the code now. It's 8134.
Okay. And thank you for my volunteers, and especially I grilled you, Justin. Huh? You did well on the grilling today, huh?
Yeah.
Lisa keeps you awake.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Professor.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I think you can stop sharing now. 8134. Okay. So let me stop my recording.